Ahoj, dobrý den, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. Today we are going to revisit a topic of imperatives. This is a topic that I recorded last year, but this time I will focus only on a couple of verbs. And that is the verb to go or to come, because those are really frequent. Let me ask you, have you ever heard somebody say potem? Potem. Do you know what it means? And do you know how to spell it? If you don't, you will learn it in a couple of minutes. We are going to start by looking at a few very similar sentences with the verb jít, to go on foot, přijít, to come on foot, and chodit, to go on foot. Let's start by the verb jít. The imperative of jít for the ty person, that means the informal singular form, is jdi, or also pronounced jdi. The alternative is běž. These two imperatives both mean go. For example, when I say jdi domů, it means go home. I'm pointing away from me. Jdi domů, běž domů, go home. You can clearly see that jdi came from jít, and běž is an alternative from the verb běžet, which means to run. Běžet means to run, but the funny thing is, when you use běž, you're not saying run home, you're just saying go home. It is a more informal way of go. So these two mean exactly the same, go home, walk home, but běž is a little bit more informal than jdi. That's the only difference. I would say when we speak, we prefer to use běž. So when I use these two verbs, jdi and běž, it means I am sending somebody to go somewhere, go away from me. This is the speaker is sending the listener away from him or her. Okay, and then we have this alternative, pojď or pojď. It also comes from the verb to go. It has a prefix po that we often use for future, for the verbs of movement. Pojď domů, or colloquially pronounced pojď. Pojď domů means come home or go home with me. When you say pojď domů, you can imagine this gesture. Pojď domů, let's go home. So the speaker wants to go together with that person. Pojď indicates that you want the other person to go with you or to come towards you. By the way, if you're wondering how to make imperatives, I'll show you very briefly here with the verb jdi and běž, because these two forms are regular. Here is how we do it. We need to know the present tense and the third person plural, so we need to know the oni person. From jít, it is oni jdou. Oni jdou. Then you take away the ending, which in this case would be o. The endings that we would take out are o, I or ai, only these three endings that we take away for making the imperative. So we have the base form, which is jd, and then we have to observe what are the last two letters. Well, there are only two letters, but if there are two consonants, then we add I for the ty person or jděte or ete for vy. If you have only one consonant, then it's a different rule. So we know that for ty, we would add I, because there are two consonants, jdi, and for vy would be jděte. We added I, we added jděte. This verb came from běžet. We say the third person, plural, oni běží. They are running, but remember when you say běž, it has nothing to do with run. We take away the ending, which in this case we see it's I with čárka, běží. We are left with běž. We look at the last two letters and we see there is only one consonant for the third person. We will add nothing, and for vy, we will add te, te. Běž for the third person and běžte, běž, běžte. This is just a quick reminder of how to form the imperative with regular verbs and for affirmative imperative. If you would like to know more, I highly recommend you a very informative video from last year. It's right here. Now, Let's see the verb přijít. Přijít means to come. Somebody tells you, po škole přijď domů. Come home after school. Somebody that lives in this house tells you, come to our home after school. The form is přijď. By the way, that's a little irregular. If it was regular, it would be přijď, but it's přijď. This has an accent, this čárka that makes it soft. Přijď, přijď. Přijď means that we are inviting this person to come to our home. But one important thing that you have to keep in mind is that přijít is related to the future. That's very important. We mean do it after something or do it in the future. So this will be the future, this is present. And this verb, přijď, is related to something in the future. All these verbs are related to something right now. So this is the present. Po škole přijď domů. Come home after school. Maybe it's Sunday evening and the mother is telling the child. Po škole přijď domů. Zítra po škole přijď domů. Come home after school. No wandering around. You cannot say po škole pojď domů because pojď relates to the present. If it's Monday afternoon and the mother is waiting for her son or her daughter and they're still not coming, she can pick up the phone and say, pojď domů, because she means come to me, come to our house right now. Pojď domů. If the kid is hanging out at school, the teacher could tell the kid, běž domů, už je pozdě. Go home, it's late. And how is it with the verb chodit? You know that the difference between jít and chodit is that jít refers to present continuous, right now. Já jdu, I'm going, right now. Chodit means to walk, go on foot regularly. There's repetition. So I'm going to draw these arrows. When somebody says, po škole choď domů, or po škole choď vždycky domů, go home after school, every time. It refers to the repetition. Every day, when the school's over, you go home. When we use choď, it is not very clear whether it's come home to me or go home to your home. The important part is go regularly. So if you want to say come, you cannot say choď, unlike in Polish, for example. In Czech, when we say this, we say pojď, pojď. Let's have a look at a couple of examples that we often use with these verbs. Pojď sem. Now we got to the verb that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. If we say diligently, we would say pojď sem. Pojď sem. And in reality, nobody would really say that. We would just say pojď sem. And when you connect it, ch and s would become c. So it would sound like potem. Potem. But it is spelled this way. So once again, the most proper pronunciation is pojď sem, which can become pojď sem, and that becomes potem. Potem. And it means come here. Potem, come here. We can use it for anybody. Adults, children, cats, dogs.
Mochy? Pojď sem. Mochinko, pojď. Pojď sem.
Pojď ke mně, or pojď ke mně. Come to me. Similar to come here. And remember, jdi or běž means away from the speaker. Jdi pryč, běž pryč. Go away. Or I am recommending something. The doctor's always busy, but in the morning is better. Go there early morning. Jdi tam brzo ráno. It means I'm not going there with you, I'm just recommending. Go there, go to the doctor, early morning. Jdi tam brzo ráno. Přijď is only related to the future. Doesn't matter whether it's in 5 minutes or in 1 month. It doesn't mean right now. So přijď potom sem means come here after. You have some task, something to do, and I can say, přijď potom sem. It always sounds better to add something that would explain when exactly you're supposed to come. So even this adverb, potom, after. Přijď po obědě sem, come here after lunch. Přijď v neděli sem, come here on Sunday. And an example with the verb chodit. Choď včas, it was related to something repeated. Choď včas. come on time, be on time, always. Ty nechodíš včas, choď včas. You're not on time, be on time. And one important thing to keep in mind, when you have negative imperative, you usually make those imperatives with the imperfective verbs. And in this case, the verb chodit. So if you want to say don't come here right now, you would say nechoď sem. It is not correct to say nejdi, neběž, nepojď. Those do not exist. If you want to say don't come or don't go, it's nechoď. Nechoď sem, don't come here. Nechoď domů, don't go home. It doesn't matter whether I mean don't come home or don't go home. Let's do one quick exercise. We have 4 possible forms of the verb go or come. Pojď, běž or jdi, přijď, and choď. And here we have the rest of the sentence. I'll tell you a sentence in English and then you will decide which of these forms will complete the sentence. The first sentence is go with your grandma. It means I'm not going with you. You go with your grandmother. Which option will it be? Běž or jdi s babičkou. Go with your grandma. Běž s babičkou. The next one is come with us. Right now. Come with us. And it will be pojď s námi. Pojď s námi. The next one is come to me or come to see me in 10 minutes. It will be přijď za mnou za 10 minut. Přijď za mnou za 10 minut because we are referring to the future. If we didn't have the time here, we could say pojď za mnou, but that would actually mean follow me, come with me. The next sentence is move away from the fire, like go further from that fire. We are assuming we are not with that person right now. Maybe we are standing a little bit further. So we would say běž or jdi. Běž od toho ohně dál. Běž. Běž od toho ohně dál. If we use pojď, pojď od toho ohně dál, it means we are both standing very close to the fire and then we decide, oh, it's just too strong, too dangerous. Pojď. Pojď. Let's go. Let's move away from the fire. And the last sentence is walk on the sidewalk, meaning always. It's a good advice. Always walk on the sidewalk, not on the street. And it is repetition. So we would say choď po chodníku. Choď po chodníku. And the second exercise is translation to Czech. Tricky. The first sentence is come to my house on Sunday. Alert. This doesn't mean right now. It means on Sunday. It should give you an idea what verb to use. We will use the verb přijít. So we would say, referring to ty, přijď. To my house, we can just say to me. Přijď ke mně. If you really want to make sure that you mean to my house, we can add ke mně domů. Ke mně domů on Sunday, v neděli. This is one possibility for the word order. We could also say přijď v neděli ke mně domů. If we leave v neděli at the end, we emphasize on Sunday, not on Saturday, for example. We could also have it at the beginning. V neděli přijď ke mně domů. Second sentence, let's go for a walk. Both of us, let's go for a walk. Right now, we know it will not be the verb jít, jdi, because it means I'm sending you for a walk by yourself. We would say pojď. And then we can say na procházku, for a walk, pojď na procházku. Or pojď se projít also. Pojď na procházku, pojď se projít. This sentence has more possible translations. It doesn't have to be with the imperative. We could also say jdeme na procházku, we are going. But the imperative with ty would be pojď. Or it could be pojďme. Let's all of us go. And the last one, don't come with me, go with them. There are 2 imperatives. And this one is negative. Remember what verb was for the negative? It was chodit. And again, we will use the they person, and that was nechoď. Nechoď with me is se mnou, se mnou. Nechoď se mnou. Don't come with me. Go with them. Go with them. Běž or jdi. Let's do běž. Běž and with them. S nimi, s nimi. Běž s nimi. Nechoď se mnou. Běž s nimi. Let me know how well you did. And once again, if you want to study more imperatives, you can go to my videos and study the affirmative and negative imperative. And at the end of this video, I would like to tell you two pieces of information. One is that I have a new website. It's www.czechbyzuzka.com. By the way, do you know how to say dot in Czech? Tečka. Tečka. Let me tell you in Czech. www.czechbyzuzka.com. So check it out. I have a few blog posts. Also, there is a little surprise that some of you might have found already. Something you can get for free. Běžte se podívat. Go take a look. And the second piece of information is that my new course, When Czech Stories Are Never Better, number 2, is available since last week, and you can get it with a 30% discount. You will find a link below the video. The previous course, When Czech Stories Are Never Better, number 1, is also on discount. And in both these courses, you can practice Czech in context, learn lots of prefixes, imperfective and perfective verbs, and learn colloquial Czech. We will read fun stories together, and I will explain everything there is to know about each story. A to je ode mě všechno. Mějte se krásně a uvidíme se za týden. Ahoj!